listen to another episode of the Supernatural Connection, where we discuss anything and everything dealing with the paranormal, whether it be aliens, alien abductions, witches and Wicca, energy workers such as Reiki, hypnosis, working with entities and deities, and much, much more, so that we may listen and talk about your experiences, so that we may inform others about what is going on in the world around them here on the Supernatural Connection. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Supernatural Connection. Hello there, and thank you for listening to another episode of the Supernatural Connection. Today's episode will be on Reiki, a natural energy-based healing system. Now, Reiki was, I think, rediscovered in the 1920s by Mikao Yusi in Japan. And I think that healing energy method was used in the ancient times and was rediscovered by Mikao Yusi in the 1920s, where he was giving some Reiki symbols while he was on a fasting in a cave. And during this time, he was shown the Reiki symbols, which were used and are still used to this day. Now, basically, there's 3 levels to Reiki. This is what I went through many years ago. Level 1, level 2, and then the master level. Level 1 is what I consider to be for the person who just wants to learn about Reiki. You know, is it for me? Is it not for me? Let me get into it and see what it is. This is what level 1 is for me. The amount of energy that comes through that is still coming through. And I would say it's probably about the size, of a 6-inch sewer pipe, the amount of energy that comes through. You know, and once you get into Reiki, you got to understand that once you're initiated into it, it's always with you. You don't lose it. You don't use it. You're not going to lose it. It's just going to be with you forever. And that's neither good nor bad. It's just what it is. So level 1 is for that person who just wants to learn about the Reiki and goes through the initiation, which is learning the symbols associated with level 1 and using the level 1 symbols and using the energy, feeling how the energy goes through the body, how the energy affects the body. Now, one thing also you must understand about Reiki, as you get into it, it will heal you, heal your mind, body, and spirit, but it does it from the inside out. And what's that mean? It means all that stuff you have pushed down over the years that you have hidden away, decided you didn't want to deal with, see, or anything else, and just kind of forgot about it. Well, the Reiki energy push it back up to the top, and you got to deal with that to clear your energy, to clear your field, so the amount of energy that comes through it will be stronger and clearer. Now, going through the level 1 initiation, it takes about an hour to go through the prep work, the talking, and then demonstrating that you understand the symbols, how to draw the symbols, and how to use those symbols. So about an hour, more or less, just depends on how you're going through it. Now, when I went through it, you had to go to a master to be initiated into each level. And back then, many years ago, there was not very many people around that was doing Reiki. So it was kind of an adventure to go find these people, to spend the night sometimes and get up the next morning and go to their place to be initiated into the level 1, level 2, or the master level, and then drive back home. So there is always a cost to this. The cost is of the course of what the person is offering, whether it be $100, $200, $300, whatever it may be. And now with the internet, you can get this Reiki initiation online or distance initiation. I'm not a big fan of that because I like the hands-on approach when going through the initiation so that you can answer those questions in real time at what's going on. That's not saying the long distance initiation doesn't work. It just means I don't care for it. So there is a lot out there, so please just look into it. Do your research, do your homework before you get into that. And I think it'll be fine. Now, once you get into level 1 and you've used it and you enjoy it and you decide to move on, to grow stronger with Reiki, to learn more about Reiki, what you can and cannot do with it. So that would be the level 2. Level 2 is going from like a 6-inch sewer pipe for the energy and then going probably to a, 15, 16, 30-inch pipe of energy. The energy is a lot more coming through it. You have more symbols to work with, more symbols to use, and sending the energy anywhere to anybody. See, that's the good thing about Reiki, is one, it can do no harm. So you can't really screw it up. If you send energy to something, you're not going to hurt that people, plant, whatever you're sending into it, animal. It's not going to hurt them. It just doesn't. But is it for everybody? No, because you can't heal everybody. Not everybody or everything is meant to be healed. No matter how hard you try or how hard you want it to happen, it will not happen. And it's not the fault of you. It's not the fault of the energy. It's just the way the universe is at times. And that's probably one of the hardest thing to understand and get over. As you go through any healing modality, you learn that. So as you get into level 2, with the more energy, the more intense energy, you begin to realize, or in my case, I changed the way I viewed energy because there's so many different energies out there. We're dealing today just with Reiki energy, a healing energy. But there's all kinds of energies out there, whether it be hoodoo, voodoo, crystal, plants, whatever. It's all out there. Pranic energy, which is working with the colors and different energies, it's out there. And as you get into Reiki and learn how to use it and how it works, you can expand into the other energies. Kind of like opening the door to get into the other energies, to learn these other energies. They're all, to me, just tools in the toolbox to be used when needed. When you're working on something and you have a toolbox, you reach in there to get the appropriate tool to do the job. The same thing with healing. You have a bunch of different healing modalities. You use the one that works the best for the situation you're in. It is just that simple. And of course, the next level is the master level. The master level is you have all the symbols. You've learned over the period of time how to use the symbols, how to feel the energy, how to send the energy. And you feel how the energy works when it comes through you. When you use the energy, when you're projecting that energy, you now know what it feels like. You're kind of tuned into it, so to speak. And there is a difference to it. And of course, like anything else, some get hot, some get cold, some get tingling sensations. And the people receiving that energy is the same way. And some just don't really feel anything, but it is moving. And the Reiki energy can be sent anywhere, anytime. Time is not a difference to it. It doesn't get in the way. Distance does not get in the way. I'll give you a good example. Many years ago, I was in the chat room, that's how long it's been, with a person in Finland. And they were thinking about getting into Reiki and wanted to see what it felt like to receive Reiki. So I told this individual, sure. I went ahead and sent the energy to them. And within about 5 minutes, he's typing back. I assume it's a he. Typing back, asking what I was doing to him. His body was on fire and tingling all over. And all it was that energy going to him at that time, at that place, and he was not used to it, evidently has not ever received any type of energy healing, and it was totally new to him. And I had to explain to him all it is was the energy coming into his body, into his energy field, and helping heal whatever was there, whatever was going on. And of course, I stopped the energy transfer and everything went back to normal. But it was an experience for him and for me too, because then, there again, I learned, just because I know it, just because I understand it, the people receiving that energy probably do not, and you have to kind of educate them to what is going to happen. Because as you well know, in the world nowadays, there is so much out there. So much information, good and bad. And some of it's just plumb crap. Let's be honest, it is. The movies and everything else. The wannabes out there who say they can do this, that, and everything else and really can't do anything. It all muddies the water. So be true to yourself, be true to what you're doing, and just be upfront and honest if you're trying to help somebody. Saying this is what's probably going to happen. This is the way it's going to work. And let them know up front what is going to happen. So there's no surprises, no headaches, and no arguments. And of course, the amount of energy as a master is just unlimited. You can tap into so much more because your mind and outlook of energy and working with energy will probably have changed. You're more open because you're only limited by how you think. And that's the key. You're only limited by how you think of what that energy can do. It can do so much. There's so much energy around us. And as you work with energy, work with Reiki if you like it. And if you get more into it, you'll begin to look and search out for more and different types of energy, such as pranic healing, or working with crystals, working with plants, whatever it may be, working with other entities or deities. Who knows? It'd be up to you. But just make sure you do your own research, do your own knowledge base, and work your way into it. Just don't jump into it and go. Do a little research first. Understand what's happening or going to happen, or what possibly could happen before you get into it. But Reiki, to me, is a good one to start with. You always have it, no matter what you do, how old you get, whatever happens in your life, it's always going to be part of you. That energy will always be with you, and you can use it. That's just the way it is. Now, the cost of each level varies greatly. When I was going through it many years ago, level 1, I think, was $250. Level 2 was $500. And back then, the master level was $10,000. And I couldn't afford something like that. But I was able to find 2 masters on the coast, about 8 hours away from me, who would do it for $1,000. Now, I could swing that. Still a little tight, but I could swing it. Went there, spent the night in a motel close to them, and went through the procedure, which lasted about 4 to 5 hours. We just had a good time and all. And just having a good time, feeling connected with what was going on and the energy that was moving around, going through the procedure, learning the symbols, being initiated into it by not 1 but 2 masters at that time. So for me, it was very, very good. But there again, like I said, now this online with the distant initiation, and all I can say is I've not done it, don't plan on doing it, because it's not my cup of tea. And that is just me. So now people were saying, well, what's the true cost to the person learning Reiki? Because there's always a cost in whatever you do. With Reiki, there's the cost of the monies, of course, finding the masters to do it, taking the initiation, paying the initiation. And then there's the cost of learning this, learning how to use it, the cost of learning that energy coming through your body, the cost of that energy working those stuff you're buried to come forward. There's a cost to that, and each level does a little more energy to you, pulls more and more up as you go around. And then the master level. The cost of all the monies, of course, and any of the books that you may have bought to learn, to study, to research, it's all in there. And the cost to you, it opens your mind, opens your awareness to the world around you. And of course, animals, they understand it, they see it, and little babies do too. They just kind of look at you. Oh man, look at that. He got two heads or something like that. But it's a good feeling. And then you can use that energy to help somebody and they not even know it. Somebody's having a pain in their wrist or something, and you can shake their hand or just put your hand on their shoulder and send that energy to them. They won't even know it. They may feel that warm tingling sensation but not realize what's going on. And their pain begins to go away or be reduced, and they have no idea. I've done that many times just to help somebody. And that spur of the moment. And we part ways and that's it. Now, of course, some will say that's not good. You need to ask permission of that person to heal them. And that's debatable. That depends on the circumstance and who you are. No, I would never do anything to harm anybody with the energy. Every time I use it, it's always to help heal. And I don't have a problem whatsoever sending energy to somebody to heal them, to help them. Maybe they got in a car wreck and they don't know what's going on, so you send the energy to them to calm them down, to settle them down. Surely you're not going to expect somebody to ask their permission because they won't know what's going on. You just take care of it. And it does. It works. It works very, very well. One time I had a client, had him on the table and was working with him. A nice lady, and was going through the energy, and I got a flash of energy coming out of her third eye in her head. It was like an explosion of energy. And I go, how about that? I didn't say anything as I was working with the individual. We finished up and I was just talking to her, and she said, you know what? At one point in time, it was like a flash of energy just come out of my forehead, like a little spark I seen. I said, yeah, I seen that too. I said, how do you feel about that? I said, I feel very good. Like something was lifted off my mind, off my shoulders, and I just feel lighter and better. I said, there you go. That's what it's for. It's for to heal you, to help you. That's what Reiki can do. Now, is it a miracle worker? Miracle cure? No. Does it help? Does it take away pain? Does it heal? Yes. But you gotta use it with a grain of salt. You know, if it works, it works. It works great. But can it bring back the dead, regrow limbs? No, that's not going to happen. And you shouldn't expect things like that to happen. So why would somebody want to learn Reiki? Well, it depends on that individual. If you want to use and learn about energy and how it works, Reiki's the way to go. It can do no harm. It helps people. And once you get initiated into it, you've always got it, even if you never decide to use it on nothing but yourself. Nothing wrong in that. Hey, go for it. But remember, it's always with you. And everybody has their reasons for that. So look at your reasons and see why you'd want to do this. And of course, Reiki can do no harm. So you can't really screw this up. And when you're working with somebody, no matter where they are or what it is, and you're sending the energy, the Reiki energy knows what to do. You may be sending it to the left side of the body, but it needs to go to the right side of the body because that's where the energy truly is, where the healing needs to be. So that's where it's going to go. So who or what can you use this with? Plants, animals, humans, it don't matter. Phones, radiators, batteries, radios. You can send energy to anything and everything, and it does help. Helps your plants grow healthier. Helps animals and humans. And of course, the animals and humans will gravitate to you because they sense that you have that energy and want to be next to it or feel it. So that's come in handy. Now, one thing I have done with Reiki energy is just healing people. I just enjoy doing it, and it works very, very well. And there's so many different energies out there that you can expand on to put these tools into your tool cart. It's just so simple, so easily, but always stay within your budget. Don't get overextended in what you do. So, to sum this up, from my point of view is, I think everybody needs to know Reiki and to be able to use Reiki. It would really, really help. It's a great tool to have and to use. And it can get you on the path to learn and do more if you so choose. It helps people. It helps animals. And it can be a truly enjoyment, energy journey. It really is. But remember, stay within your budget. If you don't like it, don't do it. And that's my advice for today. So thank you for tuning in for another episode of The Supernatural Connection. And I wish each and every one of you have a great time.